Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. It's great to be here today. We have Miss Lindsey Eitniear. She's going to come and talk to us about her business, Neckknotz. It's a pleasure to have her. She's also a Fayetteville Tech alum, so that makes it even more special. So, without further ado, let us give Lindsey a great welcome. Lindsey, it's all yours.
Good morning. I am very humbled and honored to be here this morning. I've had a lot of motivation. I'll just want to start with this because I've had a lot of motivation from my instructors in the past to be here presenting. And it was a challenge for me at that time due to most likely like self-esteem type of things. And I had to battle some kind of self-esteem stuff. And now here I am just a few years later, finally embracing what my instructors had always seen in me. So thank you to my instructors for motivation and the drive to be here. So I just wanted to say thank you to them. And I do have a small presentation this morning. It's a PowerPoint presentation over my business, Necknotz. And Necknotz is a hemp-based jewelry business. It was originally a way for me to, as a hobby, just to embrace having something to do to keep my mind focused. And when I went to school, several of my instructors suggested that I turned it into a business to be coinciding with my degree. That way I could learn a little bit more about the degree that I was taking, and it would just help empower the classes that I was taking. So I decided to do that. And that was probably 2000. So originally I started building jewelry in like 1999 is when I initially started. And then in 2000, it was like 2010, maybe 2011 is when I was taking my college classes and when I decided to actually turn it into more than just a hobby. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and do my PowerPoint presentation this morning. Well, I'm going to go back to the beginning here. I just have a few slides to share, and it'll be amazing to share some of this information because some of my instructors were there when I first started, and they can kind of see the growth that I've had over these last few years as well. So Necknotz is a way for people to understand that hemp is not just for hippies. Hemp is actually a really great product, and it doesn't mold or mildew like cotton does. So that's why it's really great as a form of jewelry because you can wear it in the water and it won't mold and mildew. So what we do at Necknotz, I just have to pull a couple of things out of the way here so I can see. So what we do at Necknotz is we design and produce handmade jewelry that will always be one of a kind because every piece is made by hand. We use natural products that are sustainable and beautiful in their natural state. And then we break the stereotype of hemp and hemp jewelry by elevating it to the status of pieces embraced by people of all backgrounds and career types. So Necknotz is more of becoming a brand because we do want to support people and passions that matter to our customers as well. And my computer is being a little funny this morning. Here we go. There we go. What we believe is we do believe that life is an amazing adventure and that our jewelry should be built to participate in your lifestyle. So we use natural stones. I do use a high quality hemp for beauty, resilience, and renewability. Our business can fund opportunities for overlooked causes, passion projects, and even create work for those in need. So I am involved with a not-for-profit organization here called the Cape Beard Club. It is a group of guys that compete in beard competitions, and the money that they raise is actually infused into our local community. And I've been a supporter of theirs for the last 10 years, so I do donate a portion of my proceeds to their efforts as well. And what we gift to our customers. So we do have a brand that reminds people of who they are and who they want to be. Jewelry that connects them to a hope, purpose, and intentional cause. Jewelry that lasts and lives well with the adventurous lives they lead. I also offer a rebuilding option as well. I find that my clients wear their jewelry so often that it will get just really worn in. Like if you have a pair of your favorite blue jeans and you get them worn in and then you wear them to the point where you just need to buy a new pair of blue jeans, that's what this jewelry is like. Being a part of a business that supports employment opportunities for the undeserved, connecting us all together in ways that withstand unraveling. So my builders are a big part of my story. I originally wanted to start a business where I could support people in a very mindful way. I had an opportunity to work for someone that was very mindful about the way they treated their employees. And I wanted to be able to offer that to people as well. So I have 4 builders in my business, and you'll see 3 here. Stephanie started building for me in 2013, and I have 3 new builders. And during COVID, they are people from my neighborhood. They're students in high school. They were looking for something to learn to do and that they could work from home. So I took on 3 new builders. This last December and January is when I initially started training them. And it's just an awesome way for them to stay focused as well during this hard time too. So what Fayetteville Tech has meant to Necknotz. Fayetteville Tech has helped Necknotz's journey through motivation and encouragement of continuing and not giving up. While taking her business administration courses, I was encouraged by several of my instructors to use Necknotz as a business platform to practice the skills I was learning in my college education. So through grit and determination, I am applying these principles that I have learned, and I'm continuing to grow from my efforts and the support from the staff at the Fayetteville Small Business Center. The Fayetteville Small Business Center has meant a lot to me in the last 6 to 7 months here, supporting my journey as well. So I can't say enough about the services that I've been offered through the Fayetteville Small Business Center as well. So the big vision for Necknotz, we want to provide mindful and wholesome work for people. That is my big vision. Achieving sales goals is going to help that vision become a reality. And so I do have a slide in here to share with you what my next steps are and maybe what we can use from the people joining this presentation this morning. So my next step for Necknotz is to take my home location and move it into an office location. So I started working part-time at Publix, and in order to get some seed money for my business, so I'm just taking all the money that I'm making from there and putting it into Necknotz so that way I can grow this business. And if you're wondering, I am the new fruit ninja at Publix. So I do all the slicing and dicing of the fruits that you see when you first go in. And so that I am looking for a space that I can have an office manager go to and kind of just keep daily tasks on the consistent, so that way my sales can grow and the company can grow. We're looking for maybe like a 15 by 20 foot office space, and just something that is outside of my home, so that way it can be more versatile for other people to come to. I am growing my business into events into Florida. So my goal for October is to have my first event down there. So if anybody here has any information for events down in the Florida area, particularly like closer to the Miami area, that would be wonderful. And then, of course, I am looking for sales. So if you are interested in the products that I do have to offer, please feel free to go to my website and take a peek at my hemp jewelry. And then I am seeking an office manager. Ideally, I would have liked to promote from within. I did offer it to Stephanie, my builder from 2013, but she's just not in a position to take that task on. So I am looking for somebody that might want to work for some low wages in the first part of it, and then eventually grow into a bigger position with the more success that Necknotz has to offer. And then if you would like to follow my journey, here are some different ways that you can follow me. I have my website if you'd like to purchase. I have a newsletter on my website. You can go down to the bottom of my website and sign up for the newsletter. I'm on social media with Facebook, Instagram, and then if you need to contact me on my cell, you can always text me or call me. And then also my email address is there as well. So that is my presentation for Necknotz, and I believe I will maybe stop sharing my screen here. And if anybody has any questions, then I can answer those questions.
Hi, Lindsey.
Hello.
Wonderful. Tell me, who is your target market?
So I have a pretty broad range for my target market, but my people are pretty they're like adventurous people.
Okay.
And my demographics, I'm still trying to pinpoint what that is because it is a pretty broad range, but it's more of the adventurous type.
Okay. Would that include military members and their spouses, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you identified that you attract the adventurous type, have you gone and researched where you can find those folks, what kind of events they attend, since you already are looking at doing events in Florida, but are these the kind of events that those adventurous types would do? And are you going to where they hang out and finding out where you can reach these folks?
So I have an advantage in that area because I am affiliated with the skydiving community. And so I do have an idea of the test market that I've done with just the skydiving community. Now, it has helped me understand that I want to touch other types of adventurous communities too, like rock climbing, scuba diving, other things. So with the testing that I've done within the skydiving community, it helps me kind of see what I would like to attend for other things. So for instance, the skydiving community here has an event out at the drop zone. It's where they do all the skydiving out in Rayford. And I can go out there and set up a booth, and it really piques the interest for some of the people out there. They're very tied into symbolism and those types of things. And so if I can do my research for other types, then I can always be involved in those other more adventurous, kind of risky sports as well.
Lindsey,
Yes.
I think I'm an example of you. If you may be limiting yourself too much when you say that's your target are adventurous people. And you've got up there that it's not just for hippies, but it's for hippies too. You know, those of us that are older and, you know, have a strong interest in it. So I'm probably wouldn't be labeled as the adventurous kind, but I love your pieces. So I think that's maybe just limiting you a little bit too much when you say just for adventurous people. I've seen
I agree, Cheryl.
Uh-huh.
I do think that she is limiting herself when she says adventurous people, because I'm very interested. Skydiving, rock climbing, definitely not for me, right? But also, what about the people that that are really involved in hemp? She mentioned a stereotype. So there, I think the market is much larger than that, Cheryl.
Yes.
Oh, I agree. You should have a line, an elegant line for older women. Yes, because we love jewelry. And when you say adventurous, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go for a walk every now and then. But, that would be ideal, I think, to have an elegant line for older women. Can you see this earring? Like big earrings, bigger?
And good morning, by the way. It's nice to see your face.
Yes. So
I can't really see your earring though, because the screen is there's like you have to stand up a little bit so I can see. Because I do love some jewelry. Oh.
Yes. Love it. So don't limit yourself, because this seems like a good product. And I think your audience is so much more, or could be so much more. Your target market.
Yes, my demographics are a lot bigger. What I've seen from social media marketing, my demographics are really men on a smaller scale, but women on a larger scale, from ages 18 to right around 55 is where my big target is. So what the brand is, though, and what the brand represents is a little, so I think I'm talking more about what the brand represents versus the target market. So I believe that people that do want to buy Necknotz like it because of how strong it is, giving that vision of something adventurous, and they want to experience that, but they might be limited because of just working a full-time job. You can't go rock climbing, but you can live through your jewelry vicariously through having that piece next to you, and supporting somebody that might want to do that. So I guess that's my ideal client, is to have somebody that is making achievements within the adventurous world, and then having them brand it or like having clients that want to buy it because they're wearing it too. So it kind of is weird, because I'm still trying to develop that part of it. Necknotz is just a unique brand with what we're doing.
And there's always room to grow. I mean, this is the first stage. That could be the next stage. And on and on.
I'm for sure a visionary. And that is something where I've learned how to, instead of I can see the end result, so I have to learn how to break it apart and go in smaller stages. That's eventually where I would like to be, is to be involved in those types of events on a larger scale, like car racing. And there's some races in Ireland that they race on this little island, and I would like to be involved in those things, just so that way I can offer some type of adventure to other people too. And I'm kind of already in going that direction, because the way that I work is I work with people that also do pendant work. And I have a friend and client of mine from Belarus, Minsk, who does the copper wire wrapping on some on her stones. And I've connected with her through social media, and I started collaborating with her, and now I sell her. I'll purchase some of her pendants, and then I'll build jewelry with her pendants on them. And then we share our social media pages together, which in turn builds our social media pages up even more. I have another person in Ireland that I'm working with, who she works with oak from the bogs of Ireland, and they're extremely old. And I have reached out to her and built a piece of jewelry with her product as well. So that's initially like how I'm starting to reach out and work with people that do have the pendants. But eventually I can see later on down the road where I'll be working with athletes and people that might want something designed and just for them. So that way they can wear that as like a good luck symbol or whatnot. So I think my vision is going in that direction, and it'll eventually get there. But my target market is definitely women from 18 to 55.
Lindsay, we have some questions from the chat. Brittany wants to know if you make youth sizes.
So I make 19 inches is my 19 inches is my really common sizing, and I don't have an option right now to select a different size within my website. However, I do have a customized option. I have a link for customizing, and you can contact me on customizing any piece. So if you have something special that you have in your jewelry cabinet and you would like for me to build a necklace with it, you can always reach out through that customization link or reach out to me directly and we'll set something up through that.
Okay. Ken wants to know if you have a website and if you've tried online market sites like Etsy that cater to arts and crafts.
Yes, so I did start out with Etsy back in 2010 and 11 and 12, but it was a little bit harder to manage Etsy. They started taking a little bit more of the profits, and then I wasn't getting the audience that I was promised. And so I eventually, after working with the Small Business Center and really realizing how important it is to have, you know, my own website, I started focusing more on my website. So I had an account with GoDaddy back in 2010 and initially started my website back then. But through Shopify, I was able to transfer my domain name and apply it to my own website. So yes, I've been developing my website. I'm an online retail business. I don't have a brick and mortar. So that is how I do all of my sales, is through my website.
Well, Sabrina mentioned about the sustainability of aspect of hemp, which is something I was thinking about as well, because I think instead of just saying your target market might be adventurous types, I think one good area would be the outdoors type, because the natural fibers, but also it allows people who are outdoors that it would not interfere or be uncomfortable for them to be wearing your jewelry and being outdoors doing the things they like to do. Do you want to speak to sustainability?
Yes. So I initially started out doing events here in Fayetteville, and more of my demographics as well is more by the beach, because people have an appreciation for wearing fiber-based jewelry around water, and they know that hemp already is a great durable product for the water. So my stainless steel, my essential oil line, I did specifically look for stainless steel pendants that these can be worn in the water. It says in the description that they can be. They have a magnetic hinge on them. They have a lava stone in the middle, so that way you can place a essential oil or essential oils on the lava stone. And also I use a little bit different technique when I'm building my jewelry. So I do have a patent pending. I am just about ready to follow through with the patent, and Mr. O'Brien will actually, he knows I did have a patent pending a while ago, and I just kind of let it fall through because I didn't understand the business side of things. And once I got it figured out, I went and resubmitted paperwork for the patent pending, and I'm getting ready to do the patent now, Mr. O'Brien. So I wanted to say thank you to Mr. O'Brien for the encouragement on that and the kind words he had to share with me in his office when I was telling him about it. But I have a wire that goes through the middle of this necklace, which allows me to have smaller pendants or beads on the necklace itself. That's what separates my jewelry from other jewelry. And so that wire in the middle is also resistant with water as well. The pieces on the end, they are not as much. I'm working closely with the vendors that I work with. So Hemptique is where I get my hemp from. and they just called me and asked to spotlight me and my business. And just to give you an idea, Hemptique also sells to Hobby Lobby. So it's a huge honor. I'm reaching the right areas that I need to be reaching. But for the water resistant and the durability of the products and whatnot, I'm continually looking for things that are going to give that durability and be resistant to water. So it all goes hand in hand.
Mark would like to know where the majority of your sales occur.
On my website, from my website.
And Jesse had mentioned that you talked about a business location. He wants to know what area you're looking at, but may I also plug in, look at co-working space, which can save you a bunch of money here at the beginning. But Jesse wants to know what areas you're looking at.
I'm going to grab a pencil because that was something I didn't do at the beginning of this. And you said co-working space?
Yes, that way you can get.
I'm really looking, that's a great idea. Thank you.
It is. It is. Mm-hmm.
They also have not only co-working space, there's stuff called co-making space, where you can get in there with other people making products. And sometimes you can collaborate on some things and they can help you and you can help them.
That's wonderful. I love being able to be a part of my community. That's why I've offered work for like the 3 teenagers that live in my neighborhood. They reached out to me just a few weeks ago and they showed interest and they were just wanting to build jewelry. So I said, come on board. But you know, this isn't something that I can just teach somebody to do in one sitting. And it also takes product for them to learn. So I've had to kind of part ways with the idea of losing money on teaching them something. And I'm glad I decided to do that because it has brought so much joy to them knowing that they are creating something and getting paid for it.
Lindsey, one of the things you can keep in mind when you get your office set up and everything, we have work study students that are always looking for venues to get experience from. So that would be a wonderful alternative for you to look into.
That would be wonderful to find somebody that maybe wants to get some experience to be an office manager. I can.
Yes, we have work study students.
Yeah.
And they're always looking for a place.
What you want is the work-based learning students.
I mean, okay. Work-based learning, okay.
Yeah, because the work study work on campus.
On campus, I'm sorry. Exactly. Thank you, Cindy.
And Lindsey, I would be delighted to provide you that information after the presentation's over.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the centerpieces. So you just showed your necklace with the little paw prints. So do you provide your clients a place to go and look for these centerpieces, or is it something that they just find on their own?
I'm developing a way to, I purchased my clients can go anywhere they want to get the centerpiece. So I don't want to pigeonhole them into one spot, but I use Fire Mountain Gems in order to get some of my pendants from. And I'm continually searching for new places to get my pendants from. But I don't want people to think that they can, like, there's only one spot to go, because I can work with all kinds of things. In high school, I had a class called mineralogy, and I learned how to shape stone, cut stone, and we also learned about cabochoning and plating. And I also have a very diverse background in creating pendants. And so I want people to be open-minded and knowing that if they have something laying around, for instance, I'll give you an example. This guy asked me to build a necklace with a tube. I know it sounds kind of gruesome, but his dad had had a surgery, and the tube was placed in his heart to keep him alive. And they had such a bond, father-son bond, that the son asked the doctor if he could keep the tube because it represented his dad's life. Like, this little device just saved his dad's life. So he asked me to build a necklace with it. And I ended up making a black and gray necklace for him. And then I put the tube in the middle and I put red beads on the inside to simulate the bond between father-son. So it's something, I just don't want people to think that they have to go to a website in order to purchase something to be able for me to build it. That's more for my line that I just offer. I just go to those websites, but I would be more than happy to start sharing those links. And eventually I will get there when it goes to, those options. I've added my hemp options on there, and I am getting ready to put some pendants on there that are available where you can just go in and select the color of hemp and the pendant that you want. And then that's something I'm working on right now.
Okay, great. So we also have another question in the chat box from Denise. She says custom jewelry is very competitive market. How does your product differ from other jewelry, hemp jewelry out there? So what's your competitive advantage?
So my competitive advantage is the sentimental part behind the jewelry and the quality. My jewelry is more like if you wanted to get a tattoo, but you didn't want the permanent part of the tattoo, my jewelry would also represent the similar, like the meaning behind why you wanted to get the tattoo. So it's more personalized and it's more meaningful, I would say.
Laura wants to know if you take advantage of blogs to promote and market your business.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Laura wants to know if you blog about your business to market it.
So I want to start looking for areas to be involved in that. And I don't do that right now. It is one of my weaknesses to stay focused and consistent because I'm all over the place. I have 2 jobs that I'm working now. So if I had an office manager or someone to kind of help me stay on task, it would eventually help me stay a little bit more organized. And I want to do that. Yes, I'm just not quite there yet.
Did you consider Amazon as a place to sell your jewelry?
That is something that I just looked into, and I just signed up for an account with Amazon, and Shopify has an app that I can integrate Amazon into my website. So I'm exploring that option. Yes.
Yeah, that'll give you a bigger market. Yes.
Jesse had a very good question that I also want to second. Do you have a formal marketing plan? Do you have a written marketing plan?
Yes. Beth Hess and I have been working together, and we have worked on our branding, my branding in the last 6 months, and a marketing plan. We've been working on the beginning stages of the marketing plan. So right now I'm directing all of my traffic to my website, because my website is where all the stuff happens. So I'm using my social media as a way to direct people to my website. So everything I do comes back to getting people to go to my website. So like the events that I want to do in Florida, that is going to direct people to go to my website. So it's not necessarily me getting down there to sell jewelry, which I will do too, but it's more about just inviting those people in to come to the website and to get them to know more about my branding and company.
Lindsey, I wanted to add too, in addition to Amazon, you can also try Etsy. Have you heard of Etsy?
Yeah, I've done Etsy, and it's not as lucrative for me. I actually pull my people from Etsy that do pendant work. So I have found that it's a great resource for me to find people that have pendants that I can collaborate with them. Etsy for me just didn't give me the traffic that I needed in order to sustain. So it's hard for me to invest my time, effort, and energy into a website that is going to take a percentage of my sales. I'm just not attracting the right people from Etsy. So for me, I shop for Etsy for pendant makers.
Lindsay,
Do you have
this is Harold
plans?
Griffin. How are you? Lindsay?
Hello.
Hi, this is Harold. Hey, I have a question for you in terms of production. So what's the cost to produce one unit, one jewelry item on average?
So I do average it out, and the cost is $35 initially, and I'm working on reducing the cost. For the last few months, I've been actively working on relationships with my vendors in order to provide them my information so I can get better prices with them as well. So I have to reevaluate what my actual cost is, because I just worked with UPS with packaging, and I was printing my own packaging out here at my house, and it was $5 per package, and I just reduced it down to like 64 cents. So it is at $35 right now based off of my old ways of production.
Yeah, so you really only have about a 30% markup. Looks like, because most of your items, are selling per 50 on your catalog. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My plan is to increase that to 70 for the mainstream pieces. Now my custom pieces, they do bring in a little bit more money, but for sustainability of the production side of things, I am working on, because I end up having a 12% profit margin right around that area, which is ideal.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that I cut cost in those areas, it will increase, but I will eventually probably need to increase my prices to right around 70.
Mm-hmm. What are your annual sales?
Right now, very low. My annual sales, just based off of January, February, March, right now, it's right around $1,200 to $2,000, just based off of the numbers that I have right now. I'm focusing more on hitting my correct demographics in order to turn my sales more. And so by pulling back from the sales a little bit and focusing on my branding and getting ready to catapult, I think it has slowed my numbers down. But it's also hopeful for me because I know I can sell the product now. Because I actually was selling my necklaces for $25, which I was aware was very low. Kent Hill encouraged me and motivated me to increase my numbers. So it's been a process, but I know that the products will sell. I'm just getting ready to, through the branding, I'm getting ready to catapult.
I was surprised at the cost of making your jewelry. What are probably the two largest components of your cost?
So I do use quality products. The two largest components was the packaging at $5, which I just reduced it down to 64 cents. And then also my wages that I pay my, it's about an hour and a half or an hour to build a piece of jewelry. So I pay my builders $5 per necklace, which I'd like to be able to pay them more because it's my goal is to be able to offer work in a mindful way. And so that's a big part of the component. It's all handmade, and it's not something that can just be put in a machine and done.
Lindsay, are you advertising other than your website? And where I'm going with this, Lindsay, is a lot of entrepreneurs have terrific ideas and terrific products like you and terrific services, But if people don't know that you exist, you'll continue to stay where you are. So, and I would strongly advise you, I mean, if you're not advertising somewhere, because this looks like a niche market to start with, even though you're trying to broaden, is that to share your craft. And that's why I don't know if you're advertising other than the website.
So right now I do advertise through social media on small occasions. I just had a meeting with the Snapchat representative, which was interesting because I ended up getting a lot of views from Snapchat and Pinterest. So social media is really where I'm focusing because I am an online retail business. And then also I can target my market that way a little better. So I also worked in the newspaper for a little while for the classified ad section. So I do know what the demographics are for the newspaper. I have familiarity with the marketing resources around Fayetteville. I was a general manager for a furniture store around here. So we had to do some marketing as well. And just based off of my past experience, right now I'm trying to market down in Florida. So I'm saving my resources and kind of testing out some different areas in order to market in the appropriate way so I can save money on my marketing costs.
Okay. The reason I asked you, Lindsey, is because I know an excellent magazine that your ad would look well in.
Is it called The View?
It is called. It is called City View, yes. And my good friend, and you may know her, Kim Hasty.
I don't know her, but
Tony Schiavone is the editor of that, City View.
I think that my brand would go well in The View.
It would.
That is, that is one of the avenues, vehicles that I think my brand would do well in.
Yeah, and I offer that to you because I see what you're doing, and I know what they advertise and their target market, and your brand would fit very, very well there. Just
I agree.
Consideration.
I think it would line up really well. And I would like to reach out to them and talk about some different things, but I have to make sure that my efforts and energy and resources are being directed at what my main goal is.
Yeah.
And my main goal is really to reach out to people in Florida. Fayetteville, like I think the Pinehurst, Aberdeen area would be a good fit for my brand.
Good.
And I do believe that The View does reach those areas.
It does.
But I would like to turn quite a bit of product. And so I'm looking to try to have my focus down in the Florida area. But I should probably, I could probably be doing some marketing up here and at least getting it on the ball and rolling and then eventually shift gears. But you're right. That would be a very good resource for me.
Don't limit yourself, Lindsey.
I'm really good about limiting myself too. That's why I needed help from Fayetteville Tech.
Yeah.
Lindsey, you talk about Florida, but have you considered Colorado?
So,
And I say that because, it's legal there and that could be a huge market.
You
And you
But
probably get a good deal on hemp.
But hemp is different. So explain, Lindsey.
Is it industrialized hemp or what kind of hemp is it?
yes, it is an industrialized hemp. And the company that I use is from Los Angeles and California. They have two different stations.
Okay, so it's industrialized hemp. Okay.
So I have had to address this in the past. Hemp and marijuana are two completely different plants.
Yes, it is.
When you plant a hemp plant next to a marijuana plant, the hemp plant will actually choke out the marijuana plant. So it's kind of interesting in that matter. I don't know if that matters here, but there's so much different things that hemp can be used for that, in my opinion, I believe it would be a monopoly if they allowed us to have hemp, because you can use it for so many different things. Clothes, like materials for cars, and I mean, there's just so much that you can use it for.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard someplace where North Carolina was going to be allowed to grow industrialized hemp.
I do know that North Carolina used to grow hemp.
Yeah.
Hemp already grows in Harnett County. There's a farm off of Turlington Road that is one of their largest cash crops.
Because I was thinking they had been cleared to grow.
Yeah. There's also a hemp farm real close to my house, and it's an agricultural product. So there have been a lot of grants that have been issued for hemp farms, and one of the places is actually going to do a hemp infused beer when things open back up.
Now, Kelly, is that industrialized hemp or is that the other hemp?
It is. It's industrialized.
Lindsay, there is a craft, it's Herb Days coming up at Poplar Grove. It's off of 17, Hampstead area. The last time I was there, of course, it's COVID, there was a vendor that all they sold were hemp-based products. So they're on Facebook, Poplar Grove. I'll look it up and tag you in Facebook.
Okay, thank you. I would appreciate
Lindsay,
that.
there's also small things that are probably going to hopefully will start happening again soon, since the pandemic's kind of getting under control. Lori, there's one that they have in Dunn. Is it called Mule Days in Dunn or Benson?
It's in Benson.
Mm-hmm. So there's something like that. And then in Fayetteville, in November, they have the Holiday Fair. You might want to check into that and see about, maybe being a vendor there. But you also, I wanted to mention, have this huge military audience here. Like, I know your heart's set on Florida, but in the meantime, why don't you try to reach out to the military? They come from all over the world. So maybe that would be something to get you started.
For the last 10 years, I have actually gone to a lot of these events, and I have been at these events, and they have not turned the profit that I need. So it's because, and then also increasing the price of my jewelry for the military members, it's a little more difficult because they are part of my demographic, but because of the price on it, it's a little bit harder for them to afford dishing out money for a $50 necklace when sometimes they have to choose between gas and food. So there's some more people coming to Fayetteville that might be able to just pick up a piece of jewelry and not look at the price. And, but that's not the demographics here. The demographics that I need are in Florida, Miami area, where somebody will pick up a piece and not even look at the price and just say, I want 3 of these. So I have done a lot of events here. I'm familiar with the Holiday Fair. It is a little expensive for me to be able to justify the amount, and then not knowing what kind of sales I would get, it would just kind of burn me out. I have been burnt out by doing events here in Fayetteville in the past, and that's why I'm choosing to really look at where I want to pull my efforts. And I have some jewelry down in a bit of Carolina, down in the Fayetteville area. I have a small container down there. It's the only place that I do sell outside of my website, which I'm getting ready probably to pull those products and bring them back in and just sell on my website. When I start to entertain spending money on events and in the local area, really the place that I would probably go would be Dirtbag Ales. But they have approached me and asked me to be a vendor out there. Something internally is just telling me that all of my efforts and energy really need to be focused with getting down to Florida.
Heck yeah, reach out to Tito. He's cool. We'd love to have you out there.
So Lindsay, we're getting close to the close to 10 o'clock, but we've got a couple of comments. Brittany wanted to let you know that there are quite a few boutiques in the downtown Fayetteville area that may be a great option for you to explore. Greg's Pottery, they specialize in art, and they sell some of the things similar to what you sell. Also, Vaughn said, what about craft shows throughout North Carolina? And
I'm really proud to be a company from North Carolina. When I do go to Florida, I have vendors down there that I do buy some pieces from. They are so proud that they know me, that I'm from North Carolina. So I do represent my state in another area. I have approached different boutiques downtown, and I really appreciate the suggestions and the recommendations. However, just the direction that my company is going in, I feel like it's going to need the bigger demographics. And so it is I do want to, and for my profits, I do put some of my profits back into the community here by being a part of not-for-profit organizations. And so I love the military here. I grew up around the military here. So eventually I do want to take some of those other organizations, eventually just pour some money into those, because I am very proud to be from here. And I'm very proud of my school as well.
Miss Laurie, can I chime in? This is Dr. Fair. Just want to chime in just for a second, can I?
okay.
Lindsey, it's great to meet you. I think what you're doing here is amazing. I think you have something great here, but just from listening to the presentation and just some of the comments that were presented or given, customization may be the route that, if it were me, that I would take now. I mean, I understand you're geared towards Florida, but I'm afraid that without a specific group, if you hadn't drilled that down, you're going to face the same problems, if not more, in Florida than you would here, because you have more competition in Florida. I do think that hemp itself is going to be huge because of all of the politics around it, and that's going to introduce more competition. So I think just listening to what everyone has offered, and just your current limitations or your capabilities, customization, searching or seeking out those individuals who are looking to make jewelry out of keepsakes, the things that really matter to them. I mean, yeah, you may have that that, let's say, that person in the Army or from the military that's been around the world that's willing to keep just a rock, just some small item from a country, Iraq or whatever, that they'd be willing to pay for that. If you could just help them to build some type of jewelry. I think so. But again, I think without the marketing strategy or plan, you're going to face the same problems you would here down in Florida. And that's something that I would definitely keep in mind.
Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that.
And Lindsey, to chime on to what he's saying, I do believe that you've tried a lot of smaller things, the different craft fairs, the different websites or whatever, and you're not seeming to find what you're looking for. It may be time for you to pull your money and hire a professional marketing firm to help you set your vision, find your audience, and craft it, because you're doing a hit and miss, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of misses. It may be time that money is well spent in hiring a professional. Before you exit today, I would encourage you to scroll back through the chat and read, because a lot of people make comments. So please take a moment to read through those, because I know you were busy talking, so you didn't get a chance to read those. Lori?
So Lindsey, as we wrap up, I want to take the last question. What can this community do for you? How can we help?
So right now, I really am looking for a space to separate my home office into a space. And the encouragement and the small business center has been a really big help. So just really those two areas are where I want to focus on.
Lindsey, one other thing before you go. We do have a marketing program, as you well know, and we have a lot of marketing students that would probably be interested in helping you market, your product.
So I have Beth Hess from the Small Business Center has helped me immensely. We've gone from a stage of feeling like my jewelry is only $25 to actually feeling empowered that I can sell it for $50. And so she's helped me a lot on a different side of Necknotz. And now I feel like we're just starting to get ready to blossom and go into another stage. So there are different areas, though, where I will need some guidance as far as events to attend, marketing resources that I should be marketing in. And also, now that I have some more income coming in with this part-time job, I can also have some more, decision making going on with that as well.
Sharon Seaford is over our marketing program, and Ross Brown is too. Mm-hmm. Or, he's an instructor, as you well know, and could probably provide you with some tips, some information.
I'm always amazed at all the resources that are available to small business owners, and it's almost overwhelming when we do realize how much help we have. So, and I want to say thank you to all of you for attending and being here and being motivated over what we're doing here over at Necknotz too. So thank you to all of you as well.
Lindsey, it was a pleasure having you. I hope you'll come back and join us. Also, if you're interested in the work-based learning information or Ms. Seaford's contact information, I'd be delighted to provide that to you. Again, thanks everybody for coming. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for coming and supporting small business in our area, you guys. Come back next week. We have Mr. Marcus Boyd with Fayetteville Appliance Repair. I'm excited and looking forward to his presentation, and I hope you are too. So see you next week.